Massive moves being made in the American economy as not only the Saudi Arabian crown prince shows up to the White House, but also America slowly is turning into a Muslim nation. We'll see why that's bad and how we can prevent it. And Riley Gaines just continues to win because when people attack her, like one Pablo Torre, everything goes wrong. And I will see y'all on the other side. So on November 18th, almost missed my date there. November 18th, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman shows up at the White House. He's chaperoned in, and he steps out of a black Mercedes. Trump and the Crown Prince stand there as troops ride by. It's the cavalry. They ride by holding the flag of both Saudi Arabia and the United States of America. And then they watch a flyover. And then they go, and basically Trump gives him like a mini tour of the White House. They look at the wall of presidents, and it's hilarious because basically what Trump does here, he's a big troll. We all know this. We are all very aware of his trolling capabilities, how he likes to act, and all that. Biden's portrait on the wall of on the president's wall, so Biden's portrait is not Biden. It's just his auto pin. Look at this video. This is Trump showing Salman the portrait of Biden. Credit to Associated Press for this video. Check it out. It's just interesting. He's just an interesting guy doing interesting things. I think that's so classic Trump right there. Has a wall of presidents, and then Biden's portrait is just the auto pen. That's good. And it's so real too, because we all know Biden was all in the auto pen scandal. His last pardons were revoked basically because, well, he didn't really sign them, and that's a big issue when the president you voted in is not actually making the choices. That's scary. You don't want that to happen. That's actually illegal, so there you go. But right after that, they went inside. They took pictures right outside before entering. Obviously, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, all of the big guys were there. Then they went into the Oval Office, sat down, obviously, in that very famous two-chair setting with the fireplace, and they answered from some questions from the press. I think it was pretty good. Just sometimes the press is total idiots. But Trump spent the first several minutes of the whole time in the Oval Office basically explaining how America is doing so amazing under him. And it was a little boring, I must admit. Like, Salman could not have been very interested. I mean, he probably wanted a nap, especially wearing all that clothing. It's gotta get hot and like warm and fuzzy. Sometimes you probably just want to like close your eyes and take a nap, especially in a chair comfortable like that. I'm sure the White House has amazing chairs with great comfort. So I'm sure Salman was at least considering a nap, because Trump went on for a good while just about the economy and such, and it's just a lot of but it's great stuff. I mean, it's great to see the economy doing well. It's good to see the hope that there is for the future, so that's always something excellent. However, the biggest moment came when Salman, he actually announced this massive investment in the United States. Check this out. Our credit is Associated Press. I love this. I love this so much.
I believe, Mr. President, today and tomorrow we're going to announce that we are going to increase that $600 billion to almost $1 trillion of investment.
1 trillion. 1 trillion. 1 trillion. That's, for those of you who don't know, that's a lot of money, actually. That's like big time. 1 trillion. So, how is this good for America? Why is this good, right, for America? So firstly, this means investments in plants, factories, and industries. This is basically why Trump's economy will be better than Biden's was in the long run, and is already being better right now, because he knows how to get other countries to invest. He's had a much larger amount of investment in America already in the first few months that he's been in office than Biden had in his entire 4 years. And so that's why Trump's economy will be better. As far as the economy goes, Trump is very smart. But I think the biggest issue is thinking that tariffs are going to just solve every economic issue, which just isn't the case. That hasn't worked like consistently. That's never been like a good governmental choice to just always be implementing tariffs to make the economy stronger. Now, has it worked? Yes. Okay, it's a good tactic, but it should not be the thing you're leaning on. So it's good to see him going out there getting investment, 1 trillion from Saudi Arabia. That's huge. That's big time stuff. And again, this means investment. I mean, in our plants, our factories, industries. This is going to be very good for the economy as a whole. You'll begin to see these investments, and also it's a lot of fun watching the stocks during meetings like this with Trump. It's really fun, and you'll just see them going wild. But overall, this was a really good, I think, an impressive time where we could see both sides really being satisfied and getting what they need, what they want. And see, this is why Americans wanted Trump. He can take people we often look at as enemies, or people we don't necessarily like, and he makes them respectful to America, and then America moves forward because of it. And I think that's so great. I think it's one of Trump's greatest qualities, is that he can instill that in world leaders, and America is further respected because of it. Obviously, one of his biggest things is that America has not been respected enough, which I totally agree with. We have seen a lot of unfairness to America prior to Trump's term, so I definitely agree with him there. And this is really great foreign policy too. By getting investment in the U.S., I mean, the economy will flourish, and jobs are going to come galore. And so that's why, again, he's not been incredible on foreign policy this term. His foreign policy 2016 to 2020 was pretty good. But this term has been a little rough. So it's good to see him making good strides, kind of fixing some things. And really like seeing what he can do that will improve where our economy is at right now. And I think that's a really great move there for Mr. Trump, and I hope that he's going to continue down this successful road, because it will bring strength to the American economy. It's going to bring confidence to the people, because they know that they can have they can trust in the choices that the president is making. Even if you don't like the president, you'll at least know he is making your economy stronger. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton went on Morning Joe, which is a segment by MSNBC, about a month ago. And I only got around to it now, but better late than never, because this interview was stock full of absolute trash. Absolute garbage. Like, if my chore was to take out all the trash in this interview, I'd be there for days trying to pull it out. So I just want to show you guys a few things that are totally messed up about this. And as usual, I mean, her articulate speech about horrible ideas won over so many of the people, of course, that were already on her side. So not really a big deal. Now our biggest issue is that she says stuff that isn't very smart. I mean, in the smartest way possible, she says the least smart stuff. It's the weirdest thing. I'll never understand. She mentions in the interview she has 3 grandchildren. And the poor things, how their parents ever reveal to them that their grandmother is Hillary Clinton. That's got to be so sad. I'm so sorry. But But I have some major issues with this interview, as you could probably tell up to this point. So listen to what she says about the right canceling people. This is something that really made me furious. I strongly disliked. Let's see what she says.
But they're not going to stop. They're going to try, because that's what authoritarians do. They want to silence people who are raising questions, who are asking, really, what does this mean? How can you do this? I mean, what are you talking about? You have no scientific evidence. You have no basis for that.
No. Just no, no, no. It is absolutely what the left has been doing for so long. The fact that she even put that on the right is insanity. It's absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous that she would take literally the definition of the far left as of late and then just throw it on the right. We are not the ones canceling people, and we do not have a history of doing this either. Okay? Literally, she comes from the political party that has silenced people again and again for investigating things, for choosing to see things differently, for choosing to see things the right way, and for choosing to study things out and not just go with the narrative that the media pushes. Her party are the people canceling for that. May I remind you, how many people got canceled during the Biden presidency because they said things against Biden or his affiliates? May I remind you? Like, incredible stuff. So many people. And yet she's going to talk about this as if this is the right's consistent ideology is just cancel everybody we don't agree with. We let so many people go on. I mean, you just take Trump, which again, I understand people not liking him, but death threats, calling him horrible names, slurs, anything. The dude has been through everything imaginable. Yeah, he's not just canceling people left and right, okay? It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous that is your argument, that is what you're going to say is an issue with the right. No, that is so your issue. So your issue, okay? If you have an issue with every time you get coffee per se in your house, you make a mess. Okay, everyone's going to expect you to make a mess next time you get your coffee, because you do it every time. And if you do that every time, and then one time someone else makes a mess, and you say you do that all the time, that is your big issue. I just hate it how you do that all the time. You cannot do that. Everyone knows that is your issue. That is your problem. That is nothing. No, that is not the other person's fault. And the fact that she could throw this on the right as if this is constant, we're just doing this all the time, that is so wrong. So wrong. And everybody knows that. It's so painfully clear. Okay? Okay, the fact that Trump was going to be put in prison simply because he was a threat to their movement. Okay, that is ridiculous. These are the same people who shot Charlie Kirk because he voiced his opinions. These are the same people who will shut you down if you say anything positive about Israel or anything against their affiliates. These are the people that strongly dislike that will call you all the names. They will lie about you, and they will trash you and drag you through the mud for you simply saying who you are. And yet, this is what she throws on us. And this has been Hillary Clinton for so long. I can respect her as far as she's articulate, she's well-spoken, but I cannot accept just the lies, the constant lies. It's really ridiculous and really gross. And I hate it. I really hate it. Yeah, sorry. I'm speaking a little strongly, but I really do strongly dislike it. It's incredibly annoying to me that she would say these things that we all know are actually her real fault. Credit of that video is MSNBC, of course. And as if that was not enough, she also speaks about how the right is always forcing their point of view on everyone. Now, this sounds like something the right does not really do. But let's see what her opinion is on this.
We have got to stop demonizing each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I think most of that right now in our country's history is coming, from the right, coming from people who want to dominate. They want their point of view. Writing out slavery from history, that doesn't make it go away.
It's hard. It's hard not to be frustrated and be mad. Well, I am, so I'm not even gonna act like I'm not. It's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. The right is not the party that is forcing their opinion on you. Okay, they're not the ones who have rioted in the streets because one black man died. It wasn't even on purpose. They're not the people rioting on the street trying to force that down your throat. There are the people who control the mainstream media, the people who lie to you. That is not what the right does. Consistently. That is not what the right does. Neither political party is perfect. But just flat out lying in front of everyone. And the fact that the viewers of MSNBC are just going to accept this because they will. That is why they watch MSNBC. That is why they watch any other liberal news station. They will get exactly what they want to hear. They will have no pushback. There'll be no friction. There'll be no questioning. There'll be nothing to say. Well, this could be wrong. This could be wrong. You should go and study out for yourself. That's not what they're doing. And I just. Man, that's really... It is not the right who is forcing their views on you. It is not the right that forces you to accept the pronouns of a delusional person that thinks they are a gender that they are not. Or someone who has invented a gender. Or someone who identifies as an animal. That is not what the right does. It does not force you to follow those rules. The right does not force you to accept killing babies. It's not what the right forces. The right does not force you to accept Muslims coming in and taking over our country, or terrorists just lingering in our streets, or gangsters just hanging around, illegal immigrants trafficking drugs, and then saying these people are worth more than Americans. The right does not do that. Okay? The right does not force any of its any queer ideology. Does not force any of that down your throat. That is fully the left. The left freaks out if you disagree with them. The left hates it when you disagree with them. The left wants to shut you down if you disagree with them. The left will shoot you and kill you if you disagree with the left. This is a pattern. This is something that has happened many times. And the fact that she could say that is the right that is forcing their point of view on everyone is ridiculous. The right was voted in. The conservatives were voted in. Donald Trump was voted in because the people saw something in Donald Trump that they liked more than the leftists. They were tired, in fact, of 4 years of the leftists screaming at us, because that is all they know how to do, is scream their point. It's not even a good point. It's usually a very weak argument, but they think if they say it louder, nobody will hear your point. Okay, America was fed up with that and chose a president who would put America first, and a president who actually deals with problems, real life problems, that the American people actually care about. Not sending millions to fund trans rats, okay, in some foreign country. America has had enough of the left being shoved down their throat. America's had enough of that. It's absolutely not the right who does that. Absolutely not the right. And the right is totally open to dialogue as well. The right is totally open to you coming up to them, asking them a question, debating their thoughts. That's what Charlie Kirk did. That's what Steven Crowder does. Okay, these are people. Ali Bestucky, all these people. That is what they do. They are there for you to talk to bring your differences, to bring your disagreements, ask them questions, and know where you land. That is what they do. The fact that this is put on the right is incredible. Jaw-dropping. Just jaw-dropping. One comment on this video said that Hillary was looking youthful and refreshed, which has to be the lie of the century. She's not looking youthful or refreshed at all. Whatever. And just because I know y'all can't get enough of the hypocrisy, I will show you one last clip to ruin your life, to hurt your ears more, to make you go a little more blind if you're watching this. Because why not? It's great. It's all fun for the family.
That all men and women are created equal. That seems to be in the crosshairs of those on the right who want to turn the clock back on the progress that has been made, writing out huge chunks of our history, slavery, suffrage, anything inconvenient, take it out of museums, take it out of national parks.
Again, it's not the right who's been taking things out of national parks or taking them out of museums. If you do not remember, Mrs. Clinton, if you do not remember that it was in fact your political party that freaked out after George Floyd died, okay, freaked out, and made racism such a big issue that you went and tore down statues of Civil War heroes because they once owned slaves, that is what your political party did. It is not what the conservative movement has done. You are the political party that wants to put Islamic leaders' names as street names now in America. Take out the American street names. Okay, that is what your party is about. And the fact that you could put on the right taking things from museums and history books, that is all your party has done, is remove our history and then focus on whatever gives you the most benefits. History must be taken as a whole. It's through our mistakes that we learn. And when you tear down history like that, you will not learn from the mistakes made in the past. And that is constantly what the left has done. And I want y'all to see through this. I want y'all to be just knowing this is not true. This is absolutely wrong that she would say that. It is an absolute lie. And something I just can't believe. I cannot believe she would say that. It's not right at all. And frankly, it just makes her look even worse in my eyes. That she would just say something so blatantly that her party does and then put it on the right is ridiculous. Absolutely preposterous. That was a horrid interview. So many issues, so many problems with it. So anti-American. And yeah, just not cool. America, of course, is slowly turning into a Muslim nation. We're watching this decline slowly take place in places like Dearborn, Michigan, where they're literally being taken over by radical Islamists. It's not okay. America is not an Islamic country. It is sad to see that there are places where the Islamic call to prayer is being played, or people are expected to conduct themselves in a manner reverent to that. America is not a Muslim country, and it should never be a Muslim country. What is happening in places like Dearborn, Michigan is absolutely insane and horrific. It is literally a Muslim city now, and you cannot tell that it is an American city. You just cannot. More than half of the population are not like full-blooded Americans. It's ridiculous and it's insane. And then if we complain about it, it's wrong. I'm not gonna go as far as some people to say like, it should only be whites. Not at all. That is not what I think. But at the same time, if you're going to come to America, you must act like an American. Okay, you must live like an American. You must be patriotic to America. But that is the country that has given you refuge. That is the country that has allowed you to live and prosper. You do not bring your failing societies, your failing systems, and your failing religion to our country and ruin it. If you want those things, stay in your country. They come in here, okay? They literally come in here, and they start having more kids than the Americans have. And so wherever they are becomes intensely more populated, okay, with Muslims than it does Americans. That is a major issue. That is a major issue. As much as America is not per se a Christian country, it is still a country that has been founded on Christian principles and Christian ideology, and we cannot just move away from that and kind of say goodbye to that idea and decide we'll just accept anything that comes along. No, some things are not good for the country. And I must say, as far as my opinion goes, I do not think Islam is good for the country. It is a religion that does glorify violence against those that disagree with it, which would include Christians. I cannot accept America becoming an Islamic country. Again, these are people living in failing societies, and they will come to America, vote in people who will fail those societies. I think that's terribly evil and terribly wrong. And if you're a real American, you will be caring about this, and you will not want that to happen because you want America to be American. America has core values that, listen, our forefathers and the soldiers that died for us were not dying for Muslims. They were dying for Americans. That's why they went, is because they loved their country so much. They loved their families so much. And I'm not saying all Muslims are evil people, or all Arabic people are evil. It's not at all what I'm saying. But I am saying that if they choose to come to America, I would much prefer they conduct themselves like an American, be patriotic, and furthermore, not force their religion on everyone, like putting a call to prayer in a city. It is not the same as bells ringing in a church at all. Okay, some people have tried to compare that. The call to prayer is just like bells ringing in the church. It is not. It is not at all the same thing, because the bells ringing in the church is something that we've had since the beginning of our country. The call to prayer is something very new and something very evil and not good. The real God is Jesus Christ, and He is the only way into heaven, and He's the only true God, and the only way to heaven is through Jesus Christ and His blood that He shed for you. And there's no way around that, and there's no way that can stop being preached. That must be continued to be spread. People saw that importance. For that, they gave their lives. And that is something I cannot accept. People who believe in a dead God, never lived, and trying to force that on us, and trying to make America that is horrible. It is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. Anyhow, speaking of Muslims, Mamdani actually was just at the White House earlier this afternoon. Apparently, they had a great meeting. They talked about how to make New York more affordable, which obviously we've talked about in past episodes, how Mamdani is not doing, as far as his policies go, they will not do that to New York. They will simply add debt, add pain, give no relief. But it was really great to kind of see these two enemies. You know they're enemies. Come together, have a talk, kind of find some common ground. And Trump says he will be working with Mamdani. And now I'm feeling a bit more comfortable. If we can see Trump kind of work this through with Mamdani, we're going to be doing great. That's going to be phenomenal. But here's a hilarious exchange where you kind of see the two enemies come together on their differences. And it's quite funny. Listen to this.
Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay. You can just say yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
Oh, I think that's funny. That's just maybe just me. But I think it's so funny how Trump just like, nope, that's fine. You don't have to try to explain your way around this or anything. Just like, I accept it. That is what you have called me. And Mamdani's just like, yep, okay, that's fine. So, again, like, obviously, don't like Mamdani, not good for America. At the same time, to see them kind of come together and still even be able to have humor, that's great. That's just great. I think that's really good. it's kind of the whole idea of leaving behind the party lines. You can find a common ground, find a place to meet, and remember that we're prioritizing, hopefully, America, over ourselves, which is the whole idea of a country that functions well. However, changing gears just a little bit, Pablo Torres, he has a podcast. It's called Pablo Torres Finds Out. Torre. I should say his name is slightly confusing, but it's great. It's fine. He did an episode recently entitled "What is Riley Gaines Hiding?" We investigated. And basically the whole idea was to find some scandal, something that Riley Gaines has been hiding, and then kind of prove to everyone that it's a horrible scandal. It's just a money grab. All this is just money grab. All this is just a way for her to receive income. And which of course is just totally dumb. No, she's fighting for women's rights. If you respect women, you will respect what she's doing. Here's a tweet, however, that Torre put out in 2016. He says, "If you're defending a man's right to expose himself to a female employee against her will at work, I humbly beg you to never procreate." This seems so hypocritical to what he did. It's quite incredible. So many people are saying this too. Like the moment I saw, someone resurfaced this tweet, I read it, I was like, what? No way, this is the same guy. Because his whole point in this video is that, really she shouldn't be so offended about it. It's just a money grab. She wasn't really that, affected. It's not really a big issue. But now on this tweet in 2016, he's clearly against trans men. Clearly against that. So again, weird stuff. And the reason I can tell that there is kind of a whole issue here, because at the very beginning of the podcast, he has a guest on. I believe her name is, let me see here, Madison Pauley. Basically, he has her on, and when they're showing Trump right before he signed the legislation, that there would be, for the states to decide whether or not there would be men and women's sports in the state. Before Trump signed that, obviously he walks into the room, everyone's clapping, and the camera shows Riley Gaines, and Madison Pauley just starts talking about, classic MAGA figure with the blonde hair and the makeup all done, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm here thinking, is that supposed to make us mad or frustrated? Because I don't really see an issue with that. Do you? Like, I don't see an issue with that. But you can already tell just by starting with that, there's resentment. There's resentment for who she is. And that is not an okay reason to just dislike someone. Obviously, she's affiliated with someone that Pablo is not really a huge fan of. Overall, an interesting episode. I would recommend going and watching it. Or listening to it, just trying to get an idea basically of what happened. I was kind of awestruck, frustrated with how that went, and annoyed that someone would take someone like Riley Gaines, who has fought so hard for women's rights, and then just basically try to disprove her and hurt her name, which I don't like at all. That is it for today. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I will see y'all again next time. Thanks so much for tuning in. Y'all mean so much more than I can truly say. And God bless.